Okay, so let's dive straight into it. I've got my hot frying pan on the hob, and I've just put in some minced lamb, and I'm just going to kind of separate the meat out so that it's not in one lump. And to this I'm adding some crushed green chilies. You can use whatever chilies you like. You can use Scotch bonnet if you want, and some homemade garam masala. I will link to the garam masala recipe up above. And to that I've added salt and red chili powder, and now you see me adding some homemade garlic and ginger paste. Yeah, so I'm just gonna stir it round just to make sure the spices and everything are incorporated all throughout. At the same time the meat is cooking, and once all the meat has turned brown, so has kind of starting to look a bit cooked, then I normally cover it. When my mum watched the Swahili version of the video, she gave me an extra tip, which is to basically add water and let it simmer and let the water evaporate, and you know that allows it to cook for a little bit longer and tenderize the meat a bit more. So that's a tip you're getting that the Swahili viewers didn't originally get in their video. So once I cover it, I make sure the flame or the heat is medium or medium to low, somewhere between there, so you don't burn the meat. And it also depends on the pan that you're using. But yeah, every 5 to 10 minutes you give it a stir, and then you're just waiting for, you know, the meat to be cooked well and not to have a lot of water content, because you don't want to be filling the samosa pastry with soggy meat, which is going to make the pastry all soggy. So my meat is now cooked the way I like it, and I've chopped up some onions into little cubes, and I'm just adding that in. So I've turned off the flame, but the meat is still hot. And then to that I'm adding also chopped coriander. So before this stage you can do one more thing, which is optional. So sometimes when you eat meat samosas, what happens is the meat tends to crumble, and sometimes I find it a bit annoying. So what I do is I either add grated potatoes to the meat in the last 5 to 10 minutes of cooking, or I add some flour and water mixture. And what that does is it kind of binds the meat together, and so when you're eating your samosas it doesn't kind of crumble. Okay, now this is a separate flour and water mixture. This is actually our glue for wrapping our samosas, so don't get that confused, okay? So it's just flour and water, and I mix it to this consistency. And then I use shop bought spring roll pastry. Normally it's labelled, and it normally comes in a 24 by 24 square, and I just cut it into 3 equal lengths. So to begin wrapping, what I do is I use 2 layers at a time, so 2 layers per samosa. You peel that off, and to be honest, the instructions to wrap it, or the method to wrap it, you just have to watch. And if you don't get it the first time, just rewind the video and try and watch it again and just practice. That's all it takes. I've been wrapping samosas since I was maybe like 10 years old. That's when my mum must have taught me and my aunt must have taught me. And so I've been doing it for years, and I've kind of perfected the skill, but it just takes practice. Sometimes you have the 2 layers that you've peeled off kind of coming apart, so you just use the glue, the makeshift glue that you've made, and you just put it on and then stick it back on. So once you've wrapped all your meat in the pastry, you've got all your samosas ready to go. If you don't want to cook them all now, you can put some in the freezer. But basically you fill up pan with sunflower oil. That's what I use. You can use vegetable oil if you want, you can use olive oil if you want, but I think olive oil has a stronger taste, which might not come across nicely in the with these samosas. But what you do is you heat up the oil, then you turn the heat to medium. And then my sister gave me a tip the other day of how to check if your oil is ready. So you dip one tip of the samosa into the oil, and if it starts bubbling, then you know that it's ready. So yeah, so I'm going to put all my samosas in, and not all of them, but you know, a reasonable amount that fits in the pan, but not to overpack the pan, because sometimes when you put too many samosas in the oil, what happens is the heat doesn't distribute well enough throughout all the samosas, and so it cooks very slowly, and what that does is it causes the samosas to be soggy with oil. You must also be careful not to have your heat at a very high temperature, because what that does is burns the outside, and then inside it's not cooked, because you want the onions to kind of saute a little bit, right? As I'm cooking them, I'm turning them so that they cook on all the sides evenly. And once they're the color that you like, then what you do is remove them and make sure you have a paper towel on your plate or on whatever you're putting them on, just to soak up the excess oil that comes out. So I just wanted to mention one more thing, which is just wanted to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel and for watching my videos. So I started doing these recipe videos in April to May 2018. It was a space of 6 to 8 weeks where I filmed 6 videos and uploaded them both in English and in Swahili. And I started gaining a lot of subscribers at that time, but most of you have come in the 3 years that I've actually not been active on YouTube. So that's amazing to see, and I am so appreciative of you guys, and thank you so much for your support. I've uploaded a lot more content before this video this week, and so just feel free to go and check out the content that I've uploaded recently, and also let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and please share with anyone that you think would love my videos, and I'll see you next time.